If you are a frustrated content creator or thinking about it and worried about your content not making any money, it's because you're a content creator. You're not an asset builder. The content creator dream was a lie. You're burnt out, you're broke, but you're not crazy. It is not your fault because the system is rigged. You're not failing as a creator. The system is failing you. And here's how you can escape it. So the first thing you need to understand is there is a cycle of pain that creators go through. They post nonstop. They have low views. They have zero income. They have burnout. And then, the algorithm resets. And then you're playing that game where you're trying to rediscover how to be successful when just when you got it all right, something changes and the whole thing falls apart. So you feel like you're failing, but here's why it's a lie. Because reality is far different than what social media plays it up to be. As a matter of fact, a lot of platforms will only promote content that glorifies this lifestyle. And the reason they're doing that is because they want you to be their content slave. Think about really what a social media platform is. It's really a crowd-funded source of content. If you don't create content, they don't have any. If they don't have any, they can't sell time to advertisers. So reality is far different than what they're painting. Because if you look at the statistics, and this is what most people won't do, they won't really investigate. They'll just buy into whatever the platform is telling them. But for example, on TikTok, creators in the Creator Rewards program, their new program that they're touting like crazy right now, they earn 2 to 4 cents per 1,000 views. And if you look at most creators on that platform, they can't even get 500 views. So how are they ever going to earn money that way? And quite frankly, that is a really immature way to look at earning money with social media. Getting paid by views completely puts everything in their hands. It takes all the control away from you. Also on TikTok, nearly 48% of influencers make less than $15,000 a year. And when you look at the hours upon hours upon hours and the number of videos that they make and how much time they spend editing, and then how many of them flop, it turns out to be like less than minimum wage. Only 7% make $200,000 a year. And I understand that's a lot of money, but those 7%, that's a 93% failure rate for quote unquote content creators. And then even on YouTube with the partner program, 55% of ad and subscription revenue comes from that. But this doesn't guarantee any sort of large average incomes across the board in general. Across the economy, creator economy worldwide, 96% of creators earn less than $100,000 a year. So that's the reality. That's the real numbers, the ones they don't want you to hear about. But there's a lot of people that don't worry about what those numbers are because that's not how they make their money. The core belief, the truth no one told you, is about controlling the variables. And if you control the variables, then you control the outcomes. And you control none of the variables if you rely on a social media platform to pay you. If you rely on that social media platform to reward you for all this effort. So you don't have a content problem, you have an ownership problem. If you don't own it, you don't control it. If you don't control it, they can take it away from you at any time. You're building your house on sand. If you post on Facebook or Instagram or X or even here on YouTube, you're building your house on something that could collapse out from under you. And if you want an example of that, I'll give you my story. 3 years ago, I started going live and creating content on TikTok. And for 3 years, I built a following there, and I got it up to like 45,000 people, and I had like 300 people showing up on lives. And I had a place that I actually own beginning to grow. I built a community from it, 750 people. And then one day, earlier this year, I tried to log on to my account. And you know what I found out? TikTok had allowed somebody to go in there and request to change my phone number, my email address, and take complete control of my account and steal it away from me. And then they went on to remove my name from the account, remove all my videos from the account, and completely and totally steal my audience of 45,000 people. So there's no more references to me or any of my videos. Now, while that is traumatic, I also understand they probably aren't very successful at growing that account because everything that I built was based on content that I was creating. But here's the real truth. There are fake metrics that don't matter, and then there are real metrics that do. Views, followers, likes, comments, watch time, all this garbage they tell you to care about. It doesn't mean anything. It makes you feel good. It makes you feel important, but it doesn't put any money in your account. Offers, community, retaining people in a community, that creates recurring revenue, and that is what's called ownership. You own it. You don't have to worry about waking up one day and finding an account of 45,000 people gone. And you don't need accounts that large to build recurring income anyway. So this is why 90% of creators quit within 18 months. They're frustrated with the whole system. And most creators with 100,000 followers earn less than $1,000 a month. And most of that is through one-off ebooks or something like that. They're not making any money. But smart people have figured out what ownership really looks like. And for me and 195,000 other people, it looks like this. It looks like Skool. So let me show you what Skool looks like. This is Skool. Skool is a place where you can own a community, where you can communicate with people. See, that's the difference between just doing free content on social media like YouTube. You don't really have a chance to have an interactive experience with the people who see your content. But here inside of Skool, you do. You get a community. You get a classroom where you can build things for them that they can watch and they can take part in this stuff. Now, the thing with the community is you have to have a problem you can solve. And then you can also have a calendar with them where you can meet with them. And it's an all-in-one place, and they even take care of the money for you. So it is an all-in-one place. And that is Skool. And again, like I said, 195,000 communities, 20 million users, and it is co-owned by Alex Hormozy, who has as many people in the creative space and the business space, arguably followers on all platforms. And all he does in his videos is talk about the success of Skool and business and promote Skool. That's why Skool is so huge. Now, all you need to do to start a Skool group is pick a category. You can pick hobbies, spirituality, tech, music, health, sports, self-improvement, or relationships. Now, before you say, I'm not an expert in any of those fields, you just got to ask yourself, have I had a profession? Yes, you probably have if you're watching this video. You've had a profession or you're in a profession currently. And if you actually love that profession, you can teach about that profession. I talked to somebody the other day who has had a 30-year career nearly in risk management and safety for a large municipality out in the western part of the country. And while she was telling me that, oh, I don't really have anything that I could teach, or I don't know anything, do you know how many people are entering that field right now and would love to gain the experience of somebody who's been doing it for 3 years? Or how about you have overcome something? My wife recently had a big health challenge. And she found somebody who had been through that health challenge 5 years ago, and she joined a community where that person was getting 15 people to pay $199 a month who had also been through various stages of that health challenge. So that was a personal problem. So you've got profession, you've got personal problem, and the last thing you have is passion. If you look at sports, or you look at music, or you look at relationships or self-improvement, those are generally passions or hobbies. And if you look at that, you don't have to be the expert or the guru or the professional, and you don't have to be getting paid professionally to do that. All you have to do is be a couple of steps ahead of the person who is interested in more information on that subject, or maybe you're just hosting the party and you can create a space where people who are interested in that subject can gather. And that's all you have to do. Start a community. And unlike most social media where they tell you to post more, be consistent, 3, 5, 20 times a day, one weekly video like this on one topic that you love and one community you control. That's all you need to do. Because what that one video a day on the right platform, and I believe YouTube here is the right platform, it attracts who you want. Because if you're not interested in that topic, you're not going to watch that video. It repels who you don't want, and that's people that aren't interested in that topic. And it also lets you know you have someone who has a problem you can solve. And when we go back to these categories, your knowledge in one of these 8 areas solves problems for people. And that's what you have to do. So, what does that look like? That looks like, in my case, build a place, invite people, make subscription money. And you can do that. And if you doubt that, all you have to do is go over here to discover communities. And you can see, and I've shown some of these before, but I'm going to go to page 2 so we don't just look at the very top of communities. Here's an AI content creators community. Now, I don't know anything about this person, but he's got 2.8 thousand people paying $5 a month. So you can do this with a low ticket offer, or you could do this like 932 members paying $57 a month. Look at this guy, a photography academy, $47 a month, 583 people. This is one of the goats on what we call the Schoolers community. 2,400 people paying $184 a month. That guy's making over $300,000 a month. And if you need proof, all you have to do is get your own community, and then you look at the competition that goes on inside of here with what we call Skool games. Now, this is the hobby community. $4,300 a month in new growth. I don't even know what Midnight Monster Club is. I have no idea. Look at this is a school that teaches French. $3,300. And if you need some, I don't know, encouragement about this whole thing, all you have to do is realize that, especially in the United States where I live, $5,000 a month is considered full-time income. So you can do that. And what's really nice is this is just new month recurring revenue. But this Salsa Academy, look at this number right here. If you can see that, I'll try to make that a little bit bigger so you can see it. A Salsa Academy that makes $20,000 a month teaching people how to salsa dance on Skool. Now, the best thing about Skool is they have this thing called a hobby level community. So you can actually start a business like this, a paid community, for $9 a month. Just $9. Where else are you going to have a business that you can basically run for $9 a month? Somebody else will handle everything. You don't need a funnel. You don't need an email sequence. You don't need a website. You don't need all these fancy tech tools. You just need a $9 a month Skool community to get started. And then if you need other tools as your business grows, then you can upgrade to the pro version where you get a whole bunch more tools. But if you want community, classroom, calendar, cash collection, places where people can gather and meet with one another, Skool is a no-brainer option. And if you want to learn how this works, you can join my Skool community. It's free, and I will take you through a 3-day challenge where I will help you get up and running with this thing in 3 days. We're going to start our next one on Monday. So if you want to join the community and get started, all you have to do is come over to the link in my bio here and join the community. Like I said, it's free. You can check out some of our success stories inside of here, but we've got almost 750 people that have figured out that playing the content creator game on TikTok or Instagram or wherever, that's not the best long-term play. Go where you own something, and that's a community. So we'll see you inside, and be sure and check out some of our other videos.